I told my mother-in-law I hoped she had such an amazing birthday that she'd forget I even existed. Then I hung up on her. My hands were shaking. Because what I'd just done, hanging up on Mrs. Carter, that's not me. But 11 months of being seriously ill changes you. 11 months of hospital infusions, needles twice a week, it strips away the part that performs politeness for people who don't deserve it. My name's Nina. I'm 30 years old. I used to be a chef before illness took that away. And what happened 6 weeks after I hung up that phone? It would prove I made exactly the right choice. Let me tell you how I got here. I've been married to John for 4 years. We're both 30, and he's been my rock through 11 months of illness, through hospital visits, through days where I'm too exhausted to move. My workplace covers 100% of my medical bills. 100%? No copays, nothing. That's almost unheard of. 14 months ago, we were living in Charlotte. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Carter, they're retired, living 90 miles away outside Atlanta. They called us, asked if we'd move closer, to keep the family close. Mrs. Carter had been talking about grandchildren, about how she wanted to be nearby when John and I started a family. Stay close. Let us be part of your lives. I was constantly anxious about running into my estranged parents in Charlotte. Moving farther away sounded like freedom. A fresh start surrounded by John's loving family? Perfect. We found jobs matching our salaries. My new employer had that 100% coverage. We moved, 90 miles away. Mr. and Mrs. Carter stayed an hour and a half outside the city. But what I didn't know was how everything would change. Since we moved 14 months ago, Mr. and Mrs. Carter visited us once. One time. They stayed 1 hour, then left to beat traffic. 1 hour in 14 months. Meanwhile, John and I made the drive over 15 times, an hour and a half each way. Those drives wiped me out for days. John asked them multiple times to visit instead. Always an excuse. But 3 weeks ago, everything exploded. Mrs. Carter called John on a Tuesday. I was recovering from my infusion treatment. John answered on speaker. "Hey, Mom." "John, honey, I've booked something special. A week for Thanksgiving. We can all celebrate the holiday and my birthday together. You, me, your father, and Kate. Just family. Just family." The words hung in the air. John looked at me, confusion spreading across his face. "That sounds nice, Mom, but what about Nina? She's got medical appointments and I'm not going anywhere without—" "Oh, well, Nina's been so tired with everything going on. I thought she'd prefer to rest at home. This way you can have some quality time with your real family without any stress." My stomach dropped. Your real family. John didn't hesitate. "Mom, Nina is my real family. She's my wife." "Well?" Mrs. Carter's voice went tight. "I've already booked it. The resort is 3 hours away. I've spent thousands of dollars. Kate is coming home from college especially for this." John's expression collapsed. "You booked a vacation for everyone except my wife, without even asking me?" "I told you I thought she'd want to rest. She's seriously ill, Mom. She's been in the hospital for 11 months. If we do something as a family, it includes my wife or it doesn't include me." Silence. Heavy, thick silence. Then Mrs. Carter said, "If you don't come, you'll ruin Thanksgiving and my birthday. You'll break Kate's heart. She's so excited to see her brother." And there it was. The guilt. The manipulation. She never intended to include me. I was never part of just family. I was exhausted. 11 months of being sick. 11 months of making that hour and a half drive while they visited once. I looked at John, my hands trembling. "Can I talk to her?" He handed me the phone. I made my voice calm, controlled. "Mrs. Carter, please don't cancel your vacation. I really hope you have such an amazing time. So amazing that you forget John and I even exist, because we won't be there. Goodbye." Then I hung up. John immediately took my phone, put it in his pocket. He looked at me. "No notes." "No notes?" Complete agreement. Within an hour, John's phone started ringing. Mrs. Carter, declined, again, declined, then Mr. Carter, then Kate. By bedtime, 16 missed calls. The voicemails came around 10. John played the first one. "Mrs. Carter. John, what Nina did was extremely rude. You don't hang up on family. I am heartbroken. Mr. Carter, your mother is devastated. You need to get your wife under control. Get your wife under control. Those words echoed. Kate. John, what's going on? Mom is crying. She said Nina was cruel to her. I don't understand. John looked at me. I'm blocking all of them. Are you sure? I'm sure. This is harassment. But what I didn't know was there was one more voicemail, one that would cross every line. To understand why that voicemail destroyed me, you need to know what Mrs. Carter has known for years. I grew up in Charlotte in a house with no locks on doors, windows secured shut, a security system the whole neighborhood could see. My father kept me on a strict schedule, school and straight home, time to the minute. If I was late, there would be consequences, physical consequences. He wouldn't stop until I couldn't cry anymore. The only thing that came from that was perfect grades. When I was 16, I got a B+. Just one B+. The discipline that followed was the worst ever. I locked myself in the bathroom and threatened to call child services. My father's voice came back calm. Go ahead. Let me tell you what happens to girls in foster care. At least here, you have a roof, food, parents who care. I didn't call. The morning of my 18th birthday, I grabbed the duffel bag I'd hidden, packed with clothes, documents, money from a secret job. I walked out while my parents slept. Never looked back. I put myself through culinary school. Worked as prep cook during the day, classes at night, 3 years to get certified, 2 more to work up to sous chef at a restaurant that served the best fried catfish and collard greens in Charlotte. I built a good life. When John introduced me to Mr. and Mrs. Carter, I was nervous, but they seemed warm. They asked about my family, and I told them everything. Mrs. Carter hugged me. You're part of our family now. You'll always have us. I believed her. That night, John hesitated before playing the last voicemail. This one is bad. Mrs. Carter's voice, cold and cutting. We need to talk about Nina. There's clearly something wrong with her. She has no family. At all. That says something about a person, John. Normal people don't end up completely alone. My breath caught. She knew my story, and she weaponized it. The next day at work, I told Mary everything. Mary is 52, traditional about family. Her expression got disapproving. Nina, you hung up on your mother-in-law? Yes. You can't do that. That's unacceptable. You should apologize. My stomach dropped. But she booked without asking. It doesn't matter. That's family. Her reaction made me second guess. Maybe I'd overreacted. Maybe 11 months of illness were making me unreasonable. Maybe I was the problem. But then something happened that changed everything. 2 weeks after the phone call incident, John came home from work looking stricken. What's wrong? I asked. I ran into Tom Miller at the coffee shop. He goes to my parents' church. John sat down heavily. He asked me how you were doing, said my mom mentioned you'd been having a hard time at work, and that's why we haven't been around much. My blood went cold. She said what? That you've been stressed with work, that you're very focused on your career right now. John's jaw tightened. Tom said my mom seems really worried about us, about how you're pulling me away from the family. I stared at him. She's still lying. Even after everything, she's still lying. She's telling everyone you're the problem, that you're keeping me away. Something inside me snapped. Not the angry kind of snap, the cold, clear kind. When's their next family dinner? I asked. John blinked. This Sunday? Why? We're going. Nina? I'm done letting her control the story. I'm done being the villain in her narrative. I looked at my husband. We're going to show up, and I'm going to tell the truth in front of everyone. John studied my face. Then slowly, he nodded. Okay, let's do it. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. That Sunday, John and I drove the hour and a half to his parents' house. We didn't call ahead. We didn't ask permission. We just showed up. John rang the doorbell. I could hear voices inside, then footsteps. Mrs. Carter opened the door. Her face went through several expressions in rapid succession: surprise, confusion, then forced pleasantness. "John, Nina, what a surprise. We weren't expecting—" "We know," I said calmly. "Can we come in?" "Well, this really isn't a good time. We're just about to sit down for dinner." "Perfect," John said. "We'll join you." He walked past his mother. I followed. In the dining room, Mr. Carter and Kate looked up in surprise. Kate was home from college for the weekend. "John, Nina, Carter stood up, his smile uncertain. "This is unexpected." Mrs. Carter's voice was tight. "Of course you don't need an invitation, but a phone call would have been nice." "Like the phone call you made before booking a vacation that excluded Nina?" John asked. The room went silent. Kate looked between us, confused. "What?" I took a breath. This was it. "Kate, what has your mother told you about why John and I haven't been coming to family dinners?" Kate glanced at her mother nervously. She said you've been really busy with work, that you're focused on your career and don't have much time for family stuff." "I've been in the hospital," I said clearly. "I've had a serious illness for the past 11 months. I've been getting infusion treatments twice a week. That's why I haven't been able to make the hour-and-a-half drive here very often." Kate's expression emptied. "What? You've been sick? For 11 months?" "Yes, since we moved here." "Mom." Kate turned to Mrs. Carter. "You told me Nina was fine. You said she was just too busy with work." Mrs. Carter's mouth opened and closed. "I didn't want to worry you while you were at school." "You didn't want to worry me that my sister-in-law was in the hospital?" Kate's voice rose. Mr. Carter cleared his throat, his expression uncomfortable. "Now, let's all just calm down. We're family. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding." "It's not a misunderstanding," I said. "John asked multiple times if you could visit us instead, since the drive exhausts me. There was always an excuse." "How many times did they visit you?" Kate asked quietly. "Once, for 1 hour. Then they left to beat traffic." Kate stared at her parents. "Once? In 11 months?" Silence. Heavy, thick silence. I continued, my voice steady. "When Mrs. Carter called about the Thanksgiving vacation, she told John she'd booked a trip. For him, your father, and you, Kate. Just family," she said. "Everyone but me." Kate's face went completely still. "What?" "Your mother booked a vacation and didn't include me. She told John she assumed I'd prefer to stay home and rest while everyone else went." "The Thanksgiving trip," Kate said slowly. "The one where you said Nina refused to come. You said she didn't want to spend time with us." Mrs. Carter stood up abruptly. "I don't have to listen to this in my own home." "Sit down, Angela," Mr. Carter said quickly. "Let's just talk this through." "How?" I asked. "How do you work out 11 months of neglect? How do you work out deliberately excluding me from a family vacation? How do you work out telling everyone I'm the problem when I've been fighting just to stay healthy?" Mr. Carter shifted uncomfortably. "Look, maybe we didn't handle things perfectly, but we can move forward from here. We'll do better. Let's just put this behind us and pretend it didn't happen." John's voice was sharp. "Just move forward without any actual acknowledgement of what you did?" "We're family, John. Family forgives." Mr. Carter's tone was almost pleading. "She told people Nina has no family, and that says something wrong with her," John said coldly. "She weaponized Nina's childhood trauma to make her look unstable." Kate's hand went to her mouth. "Mom, you didn't." Mrs. Carter said nothing. "Is that true?" Kate's voice was barely a whisper. "Did you say that about Nina?" The silence was damning. "For 11 months, I've been seriously ill. Your son's wife has been in and out of hospitals. You visited once, but you told everyone I was the problem, that I was difficult, that I was keeping John away from family. And when I finally set a boundary, when I told you we wouldn't be coming on a vacation I was deliberately excluded from, you left a voicemail saying there was something wrong with me because I have no family. You weaponized my childhood trauma, the abuse I survived, to suggest I was broken." My voice didn't waver. I understand exactly how families work. Real families show up when you're sick. Real families don't visit once in 14 months. Real families don't plan vacations that deliberately exclude people. Real families don't lie to everyone to protect their image. The silence was deafening. This is fixable. Mr. Carter tried again, his voice almost desperate. We're family. We just need to communicate better. No, John said. We're done. We didn't come here to fix anything. We came here so Kate would know the truth, so she wouldn't keep believing Mom's lies. He stood up. I stood with him. Kate stood too, tears streaming down her face. I'm coming with you. Kate, Mrs. Carter started. No. Kate's voice was shaking but firm. You lied to me. You made me think Nina was the problem. You made me leave angry voicemails at John because I thought he was letting his wife control him. She looked at her mother. I believed you. And you were lying the entire time. Kate, sweetheart, you don't understand. Mr. Carter began. I understand perfectly. Kate grabbed her bag. You treated Nina terribly, and when she stood up for herself, you tried to make her look crazy. And instead of admitting what you did, you want everyone to just move forward and pretend it never happened. She turned to us. Can you give me a ride back to campus? Of course, John said. We walked out. Behind us, I could hear Mr. Carter's voice. This is getting out of hand. We're family. We can fix this. The door closed on his words. In the car, Kate cried. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I should have asked you directly. John reached back and squeezed his sister's hand. It's not your fault. You didn't know. I should have known. I should have questioned it. Kate wiped her eyes. I'm not going back there. Not until they actually apologize. A real apology. Not Dad's, let's just move forward nonsense. 3 weeks later, Mr. Carter called John. Left a voicemail saying they needed to work this out as a family. That we all made mistakes, and it's time to move past this. No actual apology. No acknowledgement of what they'd done. Just more rug sweeping. John deleted the voicemail. Kate called a few days after that. She'd gone home for a weekend, and Mrs. Carter spent the entire time complaining about how unfair we were being, how she'd done nothing wrong, how we were tearing the family apart. Kate left early and hasn't been back since. The perfect family image Mrs. Carter tried to preserve, the one where I was just an obstacle to be managed, where she could keep John close and under her control, it crumbled. Because the truth always comes out eventually. Now, when people ask Mrs. Carter why her son doesn't visit, she can't lie anymore. Kate knows the truth, and Kate won't let her rewrite history. That's the thing about weaponizing someone's trauma, about spreading lies to protect your image, about trying to rug sweep instead of taking accountability. Eventually, someone sees through it. John and I are still in Atlanta, still building our own traditions. Kate visits us regularly now. She and I have become close, bonding over Sunday dinners at our place where she brings her famous peach cobbler and I make my grandmother's mac and cheese recipe. But John's parents? They're exactly where they chose to be, an hour and a half away, still saying, we're family, like it's a magic word that erases harm, still waiting for everyone to just move forward without them ever moving at all. We have something we didn't have before, the truth on our side, boundaries that protect us. And the people who matter know what really happened. I'm 30 years old. I've survived abuse, illness, and a mother-in-law who tried to erase me from my own family. And I'm still standing. I choose peace. I choose health. I choose myself and John. And that's more than enough. Did you enjoy the story? If so, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Revenge with Keisha. See you next time.